I tell people and they're like, how do you know what business you want to get into or like what business to start? And they go research what business makes money or things like that. Like fact that you were compelled to do something. I'm like, that's the feeling you're looking for, because when you want to really, really want to do something, you just go and do it. You don't question it, you don't get paralyzed, you're just like doing these things. And to other people it may seem like, holy, like how have you accomplished so much? To you, you're like, I don't know, I'm just doing it. Then like it feels effortless and it feels right and it feels like an immediate yes. And that's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of self-awareness that I want to have on a daily basis, so that when opportunities and situations come up, I want to know when it's an immediate yes. And the thing with that is when it is, there's no way to not do well.
I was going to say when things hit the fan, I don't know if we can swear on YouTube, but I'll just like keep it clean.
I have
But
no idea.
I won't get you banned. So when it hits the fan, you have to have something stronger than money to keep you going, because it is hard. Like that's the message to people who are interested in real estate investing, is that it is not easy to do this. It is a ton of fun. It's a ton of fun, but it's not easy. We're playing with a lot of money. This is high stakes. Big problems come up that it can turn on a dime. You have to have like very grounded, resolute into why you're doing it to get through those challenging times, so that you can get to the other side, because that's where success is. It's successful people. They've been knocked down so many times. People just don't realize how many times they've had to get back up, and you can't just get back up because of money.
That's right. There's got to be something much higher calling you in that direction to be able to do that. And this is why I go back to, it's not about looking what other people are doing and trying to copy them. I'm not sure I could ever really offer people a system in the sense of which some people do, and people find it helpful. Hey, step one, do this, step two, do, because it's really a journey of it all. I'm glad to provide what I do, and I hope that serves as an inspiration, as a normalizing success and saying, hey, like I see what's possible. Use me as an inspiration. Don't copy me exactly, because I have my own customized way of doing things, my own callings. So have you. And that's kind of the message that I love giving to people on gaining clarity for themselves. Like, what do you want? So when people, what would you do if you were me? I'm like, the question should be the other way around. What do you want from your life? What's calling you? What's exciting to you? What's fun to you? And then start following that a couple steps at a time and continuing to gain clarity. So fun.
Oh no, I totally agree. That authenticity piece is, I say this to people with even just social media. Don't post what you think other people want you to post. Post what you want to post. Have value, like give value, have an intention around it, but attract the people that will be attracted to you, and don't try to fit into some kind of mold or bubble because you see everybody else doing something. Be authentic, be yourself, and put it out there, and the right people will come to you. It's exhausting if you're trying to show up as somebody else. So literally just be you and be confident in that uniqueness, so that's what you bring to the table that nobody else has.
That's right. That's what I love about that expression, right? It's just being you. Let's dive into your motel for a little bit. Tell me about it.
Gosh. So the motel, I'm partnered up with a woman named Noelle. And the funny thing is, so Noelle and I met 3-4 years ago in Nova Scotia when I was looking for Airbnbs. I was looking to buy one. And Noelle is like the go-to person for Airbnb management. She has a property management company, Monk and Nunn in Nova Scotia. And I hired her to manage my bunkies on the lake. So I did my own management for the first year so that I could understand how this works. And then I wanted to be more hands-off. So I hired Noelle. And really, that's how we started that working relationship. I ended up getting relocated. So I sold it before we could really dive into the property management. But Noelle and I have stayed connected for all this time. And then when she saw that I was doing the real estate investing, it perked her interest. I had her come and present it. I did a kitchen party, like a virtual kitchen party. And so then that's kind of where that relationship formed on the second level, the second phase on the investing side. And so I mentored Noelle for a little bit on real estate investing, all of the strengths that she brings to the table. She has amazing connections with owners, off-market properties, because she's in that world. She just needed to understand a little bit more on like the business and the investing side of things. And then we had this dream to get a motel and we talked about it. And so we looked at a number of properties that came up. And then Noelle called me up. She found this one. It was a pocket listing, so it was going on the market. And we got in right away and loved it. It's on the waterfront. It's located, now I can say if we're closing, just outside of Wolfville, Nova Scotia. And it's on Evangeline Beach. And so you're overlooking the view of Blomidon, which is a very popular tourist area. We put an offer in immediately, like not even a hesitation. So when we talk about the hard yes, that was a hard yes.
Amazing.
We went into bidding war because they did list it by that time. And so this was where the strategy did come in. And so this is where like my strengths came into play. So I took over the negotiations and the acquisition of the property. Noelle will be the boots on the ground management and renovations, interior design. And I had my numbers and I stuck to the numbers, and we were not the highest bid. And so I asked to be the backup offer, and knowing that people can be quite overzealous. So once you start to get a little bit of experience with negotiating and the investing, you can start to understand that the human side of it. And so I knew that the other players would most likely be overzealous, and they went in high and hot and very tight timelines. And so what I did was I stayed as the backup offer, and I found out when the date was for the conditions of the primary offer, and I made our backup offer we would terminate it the day after the conditions were due. And so it put pressure on the seller to not accept longer conditions. And then I called all my team, my inspector, my appraiser, my lender, and I had them all ready to go so that the day after they could actually go on site and perform all of it. So I told the seller, we're ready. And lo and behold, that day, it was actually before the condition deadline, the seller came back to me and they said, yeah, we'll go with you. And that's what we did. So we've been working on this. Now, the difference with this motel is that it was a share sale. So this is the first time I've ever purchased a business, and it's very different than purchasing an asset. And that has been such a great learning and growth period for me. And so the main difference when you're purchasing the business is that the financial and the legal due diligence is just like next level, because what you're doing is you're taking on assuming that liability, and you want to make sure that there's no pending lawsuit or any type of taxation issues, CRA problems. And so that's been what's taken extra time in order for us to close. We were supposed to close about a month and a half ago, but that's just the reality of a share sale. So it's good for managing expectations, but we are here today. We did the walkthrough this morning. Just money's been sent and transferred. All the paperwork's been signed. So I'm just
so fun. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We are going to go through the rebranding, and this is where the fun investing comes in, because it's not like a multifamily that I take over and then, do the renovations and try to force the appreciation and tenants and all of that. We're branding a motel now. So marketing, sales, website development, being able to push that out, renovations in that time period, the booking system. It's a new world, but it's so much fun. It's so colorful, creative, the sky's the limits what we can do with this. And we are going to do this big.
I love that. That's amazing. I think there's so many skill sets that are already present there that's going to come out during this time as well. How many rooms is it?
So it's 9 units, and it's 9 units, 9 rooms. It has 2 grand rooms that are facing the water, that are facing the Blomidon. So it's right directly on the water. And then the other rooms all have a view of the water, but there's like 2 main ones that are just gorgeous. And then we've got 7 of the other regular rooms. It comes with 2 vacant lots. So we will be developing those lots down the road. We'll, get the first year up and running, but we're thinking about cabins. We're thinking about hosting events there. There's lots of opportunities for growth.
Amazing. I love that. That sounds very exciting. I look forward to following the journey of getting it up and running. I had friends who had a motel repurposing as well last summer they were working on, and I hear it's doing well, so that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I've been creeping all of the motels around just to get some inspiration, and I plan on reaching out. Like, I'd love to start a community for motel owners, because it is such a niche type of business to be running, and it's not like a hotel where I would expect it to be a little bit more higher level, but like a motel is accessible for people. I mean, I'm case in point. You can just buy a motel, and so I feel like it'd be great to have a community where we can share experiences, and so it's something that I'll be working on in the background.
Amazing. I think there's always a lot of value of getting like-minded people together and masterminding, and you see people at different levels get inspired, and again, it normalizes the success and the movement of that business. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Love that.
Exactly.
So I was telling you earlier, started a new business this year. I mean, it was an existing business ultimately, but we just kind of took it to the next level in the service industry with a virtual agency. And it was really came out of like my needs. Like, I need a lot of people to help me out. So I started working with this agency. It was, at the time, it was just like a small team, or it was mainly a person that was doing it. And I loved it. She was just amazing. She had great energy. She was getting things done for me.
I remember we talked before you brought on any type of support. I remember that we talked about that, because I was starting to as well. So it was very.
You did. You're right. That's right. I remember we had this conversation. I'm like, how do we hire?
I am so glad that it worked out, and that it's coming into this.
I know. So, because that's the process, right? I hired somebody, didn't work out. I hired somebody else. I'm like, how do you do this? Like, it's just like, it felt like it was just not clicking, and like needed to again become a different version of myself and grow myself in different ways. And you do that when you're confronted with a challenge, because you're like, oh, okay, now obviously I need to be having different thoughts. I need to be having different conversations. I need to be asking different questions, and visualizing something different. What is it that I really want out of this relationship, right?
So key that you asked yourself those, that was the narrative in your head, is so key, because when people are faced with problems, often they'll just focus on the problem. But when you're saying, okay, no, what are questions that I should be asking? What are some other ways that I should be thinking? You're focused on the solution.
That's right. Yeah.
So very important.
Which is I'm going to do a side note here. It's big on the business world. I think a lot of people believe that they're problem solvers when they are, and there's again a kind of an old narrative out there that tells that story. I don't believe that at all. I think the less that you should really do is focus on the problems. If anything, you're more of a solution finder. I don't even know if I want to use that term necessarily, but more, you focused on. And the thing is, when you don't know what to do, that means you need to introduce new thoughts. That's really all that means. Like you're telling yourself, like you keep having the same thoughts, so you keep experiencing the same results. By the second or third time, you're like, hold on, hopefully you learn that much quicker. And I'm intentional about getting there much faster. But it's really about, okay, I clearly have come to the extent of my expansion. I need to expand further now. What does that look like for me? What are the questions to be asking? What are the conversations to be having? So I kind of went through that process. And when I found Megan, who's my business partner, there was just a sense of like connection and relief, and like just so much value was brought so fast. And I'm like, this feels right. It just does. And then I needed help with something else. She introduced me to someone else and they were amazing. And then someone else was amazing. And then all of a sudden I already had like 2-3 separate team members working on my business, and they all were great people and doing, really great. I'm like, how do I offer this to other people? Like, I feel like I have so many other real estate investor friends or real estate professionals that could use someone like this. What I like about the virtual agency, it's allows you to get into the world of growing your business at a small scale and like a bite-sized movement. Because a lot of people get stuck in, I don't know how to hire. Like, how do you go about like, putting it out there, hiring? How do I pay somebody? Where are the money coming from? Am I going to be able to have enough work for them? These are all the questions we get all the time. How do I train them? Because that's the other thing. They would get on the call with me and they'd be like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like,
and that takes time.
Here to do all the things.
It's so daunting.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't do it because it's just easier to make the phone call
themselves. Yes, that's what people get to. But the catch with that is business are not solo ventures. Businesses are a team environment, are meant to be done in collaboration and co-creation with other people. Because the momentum that you build by working with a team towards the same vision is massive, and it provides you the scale that you can't do it fully on your own. So I got so excited about potentially by having the opportunity to offer this to other, small business owners who are just getting started. And then coming from the perspective that I have, just tweaking the business to be really, really friendly to new business owners and really meant to help you scale and get to levels where you will have your own full-time team at some point. We want to be part of that journey to help you get from like, how do I do my very first hire to get those very first tasks taken care of. SOP writing is a massive service that we offer. Like everything that a new person is doing in your business, they're writing SOPs for you. And they're starting to build those first very systems in your business. So I'm very excited. It's been such a fulfilling business to be part of. I love that it's virtual because, I love Zoom. I love
lifestyle. That's the lifestyle. Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah. Not only do we get to have the geographical freedom to, be in different places, do different things, they do as well. And you get to really attract talent we have VAs from across North America. We get to attract talent from lots of different places. We have like VAs from everywhere in Canada. We have VAs from the United States. And it's fantastic to be able to operate like that.
So how does it work? Like, so does a business owner come to you, and is it real estate specific, or are you branching outside of the investor clientele?
So it is real estate specific, but not specific to investing. So we do have mortgage brokers that are clients. We also have realtors that are clients. So it's real estate professionals in general.
Love it. Which gives you that nice range. So you're not just like focused on just one type, but you've got that range. And so then they come and they say, we need somebody for this, or do you suggest the type of tasks? Like, how does somebody get matched up with a virtual assistant?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both. Usually people come to us because they have something very specific in mind that they need help with. And then what we do is in our discovery call and process of, and this is what we're really focusing on with the team, is to train them to be able to help and take some lead in helping the business owner figure out what they need, because they don't know.
Well, that's it. Sometimes business owners don't even know what they need. They know they need something or help.
Most people say to us, we need everything. We need everything done. So We go through a process of discovery with them of like trying to dive into what is the bottleneck, what tasks can, because here's also a difference between a virtual assistant and a person that you hire that's like full-time with your team, right? Because usually you're hiring somebody to do like 10 hours a week or 20 hours a week for you. They're not quite only working on your business. I find that virtual assistants work really well to offload tasks that can get out of your mind. So anything that you do it's a really rinse and repeat over and over and over and over again. It's so easy to, and I mean, they're really intelligent and talented. My last virtual assistant, she unfortunately took another job, but she had an MBA. So like, these are not, these are skilled, talented women that are working with us, and men as well. We have a video editor who's a guy, the only one in the team. But so they're fantastic, and they were able to create for us kind of a system to get us going, but being able to offload, hey, these 5 tasks, can you just handle them? And they're no longer on my mind. I know somebody's taking care of them. And for the business owner themselves, what we encourage them to do is focus on anything that's income producing in nature. That is your job. If you're doing a task that's not directly producing an income to your business, that's probably not the right task for you to be focused on. Had a conversation with a business owner yesterday who is a friend of mine, and he's really focused right now on learning how to create TikTok.
Okay. Yes.
You and I both understand this very well, right? Like,
yeah.
And the problem with this, it's been a few weeks that he's just so consumed by it. And I'm like, how much have you let your mind go into focusing how to produce more income to your business, how to expand your sales department, how to, like, if you're going to, as a business owner, if you're going to be so dialed in to the task of creating TikToks, unless that's your business, I feel like your attention is misdirected slightly. Now, I understand the process because I went through it too, creating, like, as I dove into social media, learning to create reels and getting involved.
There's a curve.
Yes. Here's my theory about this. I think the quicker the business owner can expand their minds to find what their role in the company is and pursue that, the quicker their expansion will be. And I told him, like, there's people that are specialized and do this every day, all day. Why don't you let somebody else handle your TikTok account, and you go and do some bigger thinking, go do some networking, go think of ways to expand, go co-create with your team and how to increase your sales and how to get more leads, and let, a VA to do that work for you. Yeah. So that's kind of the conversations that we have with business owners and trying to help them, create. And it's so dear and near to my heart because
you've been there.
Been there, done that, living it all, still spending forever,
No, it's so true and that's what, like, for me, I manage my own social media, but it's actually a part of what I enjoy because it helps me with the creativity and have, like, my pulse on the community, because I'm able to, like, I'm communicating with everybody that talks to me online. But with the motel, I've shifted that mindset of that do it myself, even though I have the capabilities to do it if somebody is going to create the content or take the videos. But I want to think about this like a business, and I can't be the one running the social media account. So we've gone through the past 2 weeks interviewing marketing agencies, social media managers, website developers. Like, we are hiring everything out that we can so that Noelle and I can be the mastermind of generating the revenue. What type of packages do we want to offer? What's the price point that we're going to be doing? And then making the connections with the right people that might be interested in renting out the entire facility for corporate retreats, those type of things. So that takes that visionary perspective. And that's what I've always really liked about the book Traction, is how it does really define those roles. And not that you have to follow it step by step or by verbatim, but to give that idea of, like, oh yeah, it is okay. It is okay that I'm not making these phone calls because my zone of genius, my area is best suited for bringing the ideas in, and then I'm going to relay it to somebody who can produce it.
That's right. I love that.
It's so
It's so true.
It's the fun part. Like I feel, but not everybody wants to be a visionary. Not everybody wants to be the integrator or the finance. So it's finding the people that are best suited for those positions. So that's what it sounds like you've done with the virtual assisting. Like these people are experts in what they do. So why not capitalize on those skills instead of muddling through and taking 10 times longer to figure it out and for probably half the quality.
Exactly. And because of that, I'm able to have a team that does specialize in different things. Because when you're hiring first, maybe you can afford one person, and then you're asking them to do everything, like do my bookkeeping, do my social media, do my email communication, do my, do my acquisitions, do it all, please, because I need somebody to do it all. I do it all, so somebody else has to do it all.
Exactly.
And I find that in this way, you kind of have your social media team that's focused only on your marketing and social media and website and all of that. I have my general admin that's focused on the ongoing day-to-day tasks of the business, the back end. We have our bookkeeping team that's like keeping up with our properties, doing cash flow analysis for us, preparing quarterly reports for investors, and then we just have those different buckets of services or people that are specialized in their own zone of genius. And then we have access to more people and unlimited amount, which is what's so exciting to me. I'm like, I can really grow it in any direction that we feel like we want to grow in, right? Like we want to grow a different department. Now let's go hire the talents. Let's go produce those results. So very exciting.
That is exciting. And I like how you outlined all of that and organized it, because that's the goal, right? That's what because right now there's a lot of people that do it all.
We have done it all.
And I was included. Now I know what it feels like not to do it all. I know what it feels like. I put a newsletter out, I think probably 30 minutes ago. I didn't do it, but I approved it. I had the idea of what I wanted to do, and I relay that to my ops manager. That's who was doing it, who then created it for me, the vision. I was able to tweak it the way that I wanted it to look and translate, and gave some of the words that I wanted to use. And then I say, good to go. And then it's done for me. And so that's such an amazing feeling to know that my idea could be taken and all the way to fruition with very minimal effort on my part. And I get to just show up and do what I love and do how I love.
It's a beautiful place to be, and it makes me so excited for what that's going to look moving forward too, with the new levels of awareness and expansion. So Victoria, always so amazing chatting with you. This always feels so effortless to talk to you, and it flows so well. And I love our friendship, and I love what you're doing. It's very exciting to watch. I look forward to connecting with you again very soon.
Oh, yes. Thank you for inviting me. And likewise, the fact that you're sharing so much and so many people can learn from that and be inspired, and you're just badass.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. We'll talk very soon.
Absolutely. Take care.